In the astrology of March 23rd and 24th, we have some very special energy this weekend, including Mars and its ingress into Pisces. Mars in Pisces is a much different energy than Mars Aquarius. Things become a lot more confusing and a lot more occulted, and yet at the same time, the intensity and the feeling that you have to do something becomes so much stronger. Like the overall drive of our emotions or the way in which our intuition wants to translate itself into action becomes very pronounced. And if we keep in mind that this upcoming Libra full moon this weekend is going to be quincunxing Mars, it creates this inescapable moment where someone comes along and it's as if they prompt this energy of change out of us, or at the very least they provide us with an opportunity to take action in that moment of crisis or intensity, or basically make or break. There is no indecisiveness, there is no back and forth, there is no not making a choice. Everything we do, including nothing, is making a choice. And so for this Libra full moon, for Libras, this is going to be a time to really let go of anything that you are limiting yourself with, including relationships and connections that are essentially propagating and sort of increasing anything that sort of weakens yourself or holds yourself back. Any self-talk that is destructive of yourself, this is a time to let go of that. And for Virgo, I think for you, this is going to manifest a lot more in certain limitations that you may have had around what it is that you can achieve, what it is that you can earn, what value you bring to yourself and other people, what value you bring to the team in general. And for Leo, this is a time where you are very much releasing communication that maybe you've been sort of waiting to say something, or you've been waiting for the right time, or you've been waiting for the right way to say it, or perhaps you've been saying it, but you're waiting for other people to receive what you're saying. And in some way, shape, or form, you are called to say what you need to say, let it out, release it, and let it go, and understand that some people are going to interpret it how you want it, and other people are not going to be able to hear what you're saying, and that's not actually a problem. At the end of the day, you expressing your truth is what's important here, not necessarily everyone else agreeing with what your truth is. And for Cancer, this is going to be a release maybe of some type of toxic family dynamic, or it will be a release of some type of connection that maybe you've had with your family for a certain amount of time, maybe a certain power dynamic or a certain expectation or a connection that you've had is going to the wayside, or perhaps that it's being reborn in some way, or that someone else is kind of taking on this mantle, but it feels like things are going to work themselves out a little bit naturally and just kind of show you that things didn't need to be as improperly balanced as they have been. And for Gemini, this is a release of creative expression. This is a release of romance. So for you, this is going to be a time where it's important to express what it is that you've wanted to say, but specifically to put your heart on the line in some way, shape, or form, and to have fun doing it, not worry so much about how other people are taking it. For Taurus, this energy is, this is an energy where it feels like you're releasing some of the things that might have been holding back your day-to-day schedule. Maybe things that have been like details you've been waiting to learn so that you can have it figured out with what it is that you want to actually do and the way that you want to do things, but also things that have been holding back your health. This is definitely a time to be very crystal clear about what it is that has been toxic to yourself in your own schedule, in your own dynamic, or maybe the way that you've organized your life. So it's kind of a huge adjustment to make. But of course, for Aries, this is one of the biggest ones. The release of relationships, the release of certain friendships and partnerships can be very intense for you with this full moon, but it is something that definitely needs to be experienced, especially if we keep in mind that quincunx to Mars and Pisces, and the fact that Mars and Pisces is now in your solar 12th house. And so this is a very important time to let go of the things that need to be let go of. If you don't, what ends up happening is you essentially start carrying along something that is quite, it's venomous or poisonous to you. It's incredibly dangerous for you to carry in illegitimate friendship, partnership, or relationship past this point. And when something needs to break off or separate, then it needs to. And conversely, times where you've been holding something back or putting up a wall for a very genuine connection, now is a great time to actually allow this in, because being in the hermit phase works as a phase, not as a lifestyle. It works for a time until it doesn't. And then, of course, for Pisces, this is going to be incredibly intense for you guys, because in a lot of ways, on an instinctual level, you will feel like, okay, I know exactly what I need to let go of. I know what toxic things aren't working for me. And part of me is just wondering, am I being too cruel by making that judgment? And the answer is that on an instinctual level, you know the difference. And on an intuitive level, you know what is right and wrong. You know what things you actually do need to let go of. And then, of course, for Aquarius, this is time to release the essentially the lack of faith that maybe you've had, or moments where you've been wondering if now's the time to still try something, or if it's just too late to do so. And you get kind of this refresher, this moment in time where it's like, oh, no, you still have one more chance. Now's the time to actually take this. And then, of course, for Capricorn, this is a release that's very important to you because it's in your solar 10th. And so for you, you're going to be saying, I'm ready to let go of the false destiny that I have cleaved to for so long, and the ways that I've, tried to make this bizarre puppet show work when it doesn't, and it doesn't actually fit what my design or sort of my connection to reality and the transcendent is. And it's a great time to let that go once and for all. And of course, for Sagittarius, this is releasing the social networks that don't work and connecting to the social networks that do work. This doesn't have to do with letting people go for good. It doesn't have to do with right or wrong. It's about what works for you right now and what kind of energy you need to connect to and plug into here and now, rather than, maybe what used to work for a while, where you were in a very chill vibration, you just wanted to take things easy. Maybe now you're trying to take things up a notch, and you need to connect with people that are able to kind of meet you on that energetic level. And of course, lastly, for Scorpio, this is the release of releases. This is the final release for you. And so it's going to be very intense, because you are letting go certain curses, metaphorically speaking, that you've allowed to permeate your subconscious and conscious for a long time. Certain things like you expect relationships to fail, you expect that you won't be able to get this job opportunity, you expect that you can't improve your life in some way. And these false, curses, these false expectations need to be released once and for all consciously, so that it can be communicated to your subconscious, and that feedback loop can start to change into a positive one. So I hope that this has helped you guys out, and I will talk to you all on Monday.